And we've been talking about income taxes a lot this week because now is the time to file. The deadline, Tuesday, April 15th, and it will be here before we know it. Hopefully you're getting a refund this year. I know I'm hoping I am. Dan Boone is an IRS media specialist, and he's going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about tax returns. I know we all have a lot of questions, and there was a delay in the IRS. Is that now everybody can file, though?
Anybody can file now. If you've got it ready, hit send, and it'll go right through.
Okay, now most of us have gotten our W-2 forms, but what about the people who haven't gotten those forms yet? What do they need to do?
Well, first of all, go back to your employer, check with them, and see if they can provide you a copy. Maybe it got lost in the mail. But if by the middle of February you still don't have it, then come to the IRS. We can help you fill out what's called a substitute W-2 form, especially if you've got your last pay stub from last year showing how much you made and how much was withheld, and then you can use that substitute to go ahead and file.
Okay, of course we all know, hopefully you don't know from experience, maybe you've read about it, if you file with the wrong person, you choose the wrong person to prepare your taxes, it can cost us money, it can cost us so many things, it can just be very, very bad. So how do we choose the right person to prepare our taxes?
Good question. There are a lot of great preparers out there, but there are a few bad apples, so you got to watch out. You know, use the same caution that you would in choosing a lawyer or a doctor. Make sure that it's somebody who has the right credentials. Check with the Better Business Bureau, check with State Consumer Affairs Agency, make sure that there aren't any complaints against them. A couple of red flags to watch out for. If you walk in and they immediately tell you, I can give you a bigger refund than the guy down the street, and they haven't even looked at your financial information, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So, you know, turn around and walk back out.
And that can end up costing you money.
Oh, yeah.
If your taxes are wrong, the IRS can come back and say, hello.
That's right. Or if they want to charge a percentage of the refund as their fee, they're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
They want you to sign a blank return. Don't do that.
None of those things. Okay, those are all good things to look out for. Some people are eligible for credits, for free tax filing benefits.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, and let me make sure folks understand the IRS office no longer prepares tax returns.
Okay.
That's a change for this year. But we do have plenty of free help here in the Mobile area. In fact, I think we have about 20 different sites, 15 or 20 different sites just in this one county. United Way is one of our big partners, and the easiest way to find one of these free help sites, dial 211 right here in the Mobile area, and they'll direct you to a free site. We also have sites, though, for people who are age 60 and older that are run by AARP, and those are great places to go to get your taxes done free. Okay,
let's talk about this health care reform. How is that going to affect the way we pay taxes?
This year, not a lot.
Really? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. The ones we're filing right now are not really that much affected. Now, if your income was over $200,000, you're going to see a couple of new taxes by the Affordable Care Act. One is the net investment income tax of 3.8%, and then there's an additional Medicare tax of 0.9%. But again, unless you're over $200,000, those two things won't affect you.
Okay, now let's talk about scams, because it just seems like they're getting worse and worse every year. IRS scams, all too common. So what do we need to look out for this year?
The thing we're seeing is more sophisticated scams. You know, we've always had people that will call and say they're from the IRS and want you to send them money.
Right.
Well, this year they've started spoofing the caller ID, and it makes it look like it's the IRS calling. They get demanding, and they say if you don't pay, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be deported, you know, all kinds of threats. And then they'll hang up if you don't cooperate, and somebody else will call back and spoof the caller ID again. It'll look like the police are calling. So, you know, anytime you get a call and they're asking for money and you're not comfortable with it, you're suspicious, just tell them, you know, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this over the phone. Send me something in writing, and then we'll talk.
And that hits close to home. I'll tell you what, guys, I already got that call this year. Didn't answer, called back, which, again, that's another scam that's going on. You're calling number back. Don't call the numbers back. But when I called back, it sounded so legit. Said, you've reached the Internal Revenue Service. Please hold on, blah, 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 blah. Press 1 if you want this. Sounded extremely legit. And I just said, all right, this is not good. I'm going to call the actual IRS number I find on the website and go through that way.
That's exactly what to do. Yes.
So, yeah, be very, very careful, because those scammers are trying to get us. Thank you for all these tips, all really good things that we need to know this year. Now, remember, deadline to file your taxes is Tuesday, April 15th. So if you haven't started getting your forms and receipts together, now is the time.